here's this really fun dip recipe. It's a curry dip recipe with coconut and a little bit of crunch to it. It's just a really fun recipe. So we're starting with some coconut, and this is optional. You don't have to do it. And this is just the flake coconut that you get, near the cake mixes and things like that. It comes in a bag. And I'm going to toast it a little bit. Again, if you're in a real hurry, you don't have to do that step, but I just think it tastes better and takes it to a whole nother level. All right, so we've got some mango chutney, which you just find this right in a jar. So we're going to take about 1/2 cup of mango chutney and put that in a bowl. Then we're going to take about 1/2 cup of apricot, or you could do peach preserves. So equal parts of the mango chutney and the peach preserves. All right, in that goes. And then we're going to do some curry powder. Now, different curry powders are stronger than others, so, get to know your curry powder. I always start with a little. You could always add more. We're going to do, let's say that looks about good. But as I said, some of those curry powders are really strong, so you won't want to use as much. So the ones you get at the grocery store are, well, they're different actually. So you can take a whiff of it, add a little bit, and you can always add a little bit more. This isn't going to be real spicy, but it is going to have a lot of great curry flavor. All right, so that is that. Checking on my coconut here. I don't want to over toast it, if you know what I mean. So we're going to take 1 block of cream cheese that we've let soften a little bit, and this is a make-ahead. You can whip this together in the morning, park it in the fridge, and then decorate it, garnish up right before serving. Not a problem. This is perfect for that. So I'm going to take some of this cream cheese and kind of carefully spread it onto the plate. You know what? I thought that was going to be the right tool for the job, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just looking for a butter knife, but maybe this will work a little bit better. Yeah, perfect. I'm a dipper. I love good dips, but you tend to make the same ones over and over again, so that's why I'm real excited about this recipe. And just a pretty plate. We wanted to go with a plate that had a little bit of a color so you could see the cream cheese. Just want to spread that out, and that's why it helps if the cream cheese is a little bit softened. So you just pull it out of the fridge a little bit before. And in the summer, we get a lot of visitors at our cottage up in Michigan. You've heard me talk about that before. But I always like to put, before dinner, while I'm getting dinner ready, some sort of a dip. We sit out on our front porch there. We've got the wicker furniture on the front porch, and that's just where we gather to play Yahtzee and just play cards and hang out before dinner. And I always just like to throw out a fun dip. You never know who's going to stop by or who's staying with us, and just to kind of get the party started. And this one is just so easy. All right. So cream cheese down. Now I'm going to take. Ooh, thank you, Ann. What would I do without you, Ann? She reminds me of that every day. Okay. Yeah, this toasts up very, very quickly. I'm going to remove it from the heat, and it's perfect. You could also toast it in the oven. Okay, so now we're going to take the apricot jam, the mango chutney, and that curry powder mixture, and carefully spread that over the top, but we don't want to mix it in. That's the key. So we're going to have the cool from the cream cheese, a little bit of kick, and just a lot of great flavor from this chutney. Apricot jam mixture, and it really is going to work nice together. I love these layered dips because they look really pretty. And now we're going to have some fun with the toppings that we're going to do. And you want to spread that almost to the edge, but I like to have a little bit of the cream cheese kind of peeking out. The real key is don't mix them together. We want to see the layers. Perfect. Okay. All right. Now we're going to take some of this coconut and throw this over the top. So now we've got a little bit of sweet going on with that heat in the cool. And I know this sounds weird, but I'm telling you, people are going to go nuts over this one. Trust me on this one. Trust me, people. Okay. Now we've got some scallions. So I'm just going to chop up some scallions, and you can do them on the angle, which is kind of fun to kind of give it an Asian look. Okay, so we'll do those. Just kind of throw those around, so that little hint of onion is going to really taste nice. We're also going to do some fresh cilantro, unless you don't do cilantro. Some people just not a big fan of it, so you can certainly leave the cilantro out. And you could do just fresh chopped parsley would work great. Flat leaf parsley is kind of my parsley of choice if you're going to use parsley. You could just leave it out too if you don't want to use the cilantro. I want to give that a rough chop. I might go to the farmer's market this weekend. Haven't been as much as I'd like to this summer, and now is actually, you know, just keeps getting better and better as the summer goes on. More and more stuff, so we're going to take some of that cilantro and just sprinkle that about.
Looks like a pizza.
Ann says it's starting to look like a pizza, kind of. Okay, one more thing we're going to add, and this is going to be real fun for a little bit of crunch. We've got some dry roasted peanuts. Don't need a whole ton. And I think the best way to kind of chop them up is just, instead of doing it on a knife, I put them in a little Ziploc baggie. And just use a rolling pin, a meat mallet, the back of a frying pan works too, you know, a heavy skillet. You could also buy the, you know, pre-chopped up peanuts like you'd put on sundaes. Almonds would also work, and if you don't do nuts, again, you can leave those out too. Now, if you're making this ahead of time, what I would do is I'd do the cream cheese layer, and you could even do the chutney layer. I would wait until just before serving to throw on the rest of the ingredients. That way they're going to stay nice and fresh, and you know, the nuts will still be nice and crunchy, and everything's going to look so pretty. How pretty does that look, and how fun and different is that? And people are going to be like, what is that? And then they're going to try it and be like, wow, that's fantastic. So what do I serve this with for dipping? Well, they have some really fun different like Asian crackers now, some rice crackers that would be really good. I really love, in fact, we opened a bag of these last night, and before you know it, it was gone. The baked bagel or pita chips, fantastic with this, but they're just some really nice crackers. And then I also love, especially in the summer, and especially with a dip like this, to offer something besides crackers for people who want to, you know, maybe, you know, eat even more healthy and keep it even more light. So I always like to put out with my dips some sort of nice vegetable tray and mix it up and keep it some nice colors. So I've got some just baby carrots, the bagged baby carrots that I'm going to do. I've got some celery that is, of course, always great for dipping. But then do some stuff that's outside the box. Do some stuff that, you know, your guests might not think about. With this recipe, you know what would be fantastic are those sugar snap peas, which you don't have to cook them, or you could quickly blanch them and then refrigerate them. Those would be wonderful with this because it kind of has this whole Asian-inspired, you know, feel to it. I love, 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 and I've trying to get more people to put on their veggie and dip trays the different colored peppers. This is always the first thing to go. And the kids love color, so if you're trying to get your kids to eat more veggies and dip, put some red pepper out on a veggie and dip platter, and it just looks so pretty, and they'll go right to it, and then they'll taste it. And I promise you, this has happened to my kiddos, and when Ireland brings girlfriends over, I put this out, and all of a sudden it's gone, and they'll say, wow, I've never tried this before. I think, it gets a bad rap, like people think it's spicy, the kids who haven't tried it before, and then they try it, and they're like, wow, this is really good, and it's so good for them. And it looks pretty on a tray too, to do some different colors. Cucumbers are another thing that I put on that you often see just the standard, the broccoli and carrots and celery. So do some different veggies on that veggie and dip tray this summer, and I'm telling you, this dip is really a winner. You can get the recipe on our website. You can also get lots of recipes at Festival Foods. And coming up, we're going to make some more nice light recipes. We're going to show you what to do with, as I mentioned, all that fruit once you pick it up at the farmer's market, at the grocery store. How do you wash it? Fruit cups on the go. We'll show you how to make those. Homemade fruit tarts and a cool cucumber soup. Plus pan-seared, a nice light, healthy salmon dish too. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.